This is GeekSet Podcast, your number one stop for tech, entertainment, and overall fuckery. My name is Jutt. I'll be running everything today. Got my man Danny with me.
What's up, people? Danny, aka Newark Hip Hop.
And we got a new person on the show. Chilling with my homegirl Ashley.
Hey guys, it's Ashley, aka Bidget Gamer.
Alrighty, so we're gonna get everything rolling today, starting off as always with our tech segment. So we got some rumors floating around the bushes with Apple making a new iPhone. They're going to be calling it the next generation iPhone or iPhone 5. We're not quite sure, but they leaked some pictures. How do we feel about this, Danny? What do you think, man?
So far, what we know about this, it's iPhone 5 is going to come out. They're reported August 7th as the official launch date, and it's from a credible source. That is what a couple of websites are saying. As far as the phone itself, they're adding some silver, aluminum to the body, a little bit of glass. It looks good. From the renderings, it's a good-looking phone. No solid specs have been released. No price yet. Doesn't seem to be any big rumors on any new carriers or anything. I mean, it's going to be, and you already know how I feel. It's going to be different body, same iPhone. They're going to give them maybe a couple of inches on the screen, some pretty looks, which is pretty much not going to change. And it's going to sell millions.
Pretty much. Ashley, do you have any thoughts on iPhone? Are you a big iPhone fan or not?
No, I'm not a big iPhone fan. I have a beat up shit cell phone at this point. But I feel like this is like the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Like from what I can see from the renderings or whatever, it looks pretty much exactly like the iPhone 4. But
I mean, basically every other phone is the same thing. You know,
yeah.
Just a little updated, but the fact of the matter is that, you know, just like Danny said, they're still going to do millions. It don't matter if they do that bullshit step and a half like they did with the 3G to 3GS and they just added like video recording. You know what I mean? It's still going to do numbers because people are going to buy it, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, but I mean,
hipsters everywhere have just jizzed in their pants.
Yeah, they're fogging up their wide frame black glasses with them. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see what specs come out. I honestly don't see them doing anything crazy. Maybe they'll add NFC, probably like a 4-inch screen, I'll say. But overall, iOS is iOS. They're not going to make any crazy additions.
Yeah, the only thing I can see them doing, and I've heard about this, is highly improving Siri. Because, you know, Siri first came out, and it had all the hype behind it. But as of that died down pretty quick, to be honest. Like, the novelty went away pretty quick. But I've heard that they totally redid it, especially now that, you know, Google came out with Google Now, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. I was using it a little bit today on my Nexus pad. But Google really stepped the ball up with the Nexus Now, so we'll see. They got to come strong. They got to come with something new. But like we've all said, they're still going to sell millions no matter if they just up the screen half an inch. But
yeah, time will tell. But keeping along with that, you know, Apple's, you know, I think, like I said last week after Steve Jobs passed, we'll see a little bit more brand new quote-unquote ideas, meaning Apple's going to take somebody else's idea and make it better, or, you know, to some people's ideas, you know what I mean? So with that being said, we got rumors of an iPad mini. Was it an 8-inch tablet that they're going to be marketing here? Ashley, are you a big tablet user? Are you a fan of the tablet genre here?
I'm not a big tablet user, but from what I've read, they're making it smaller and they're making it at a lower price point, right? That's something that kind of appeals to me because the iPad, for me, was just a little bit too expensive for something I didn't really need or couldn't justify.
Right.
But, I mean, if they're introducing it at a lower price point, I could definitely get into the iPad mini.
Right. Danny, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is their way of almost cop and please for now? We got the Kindle Fire, now we have the Nexus 7 coming out. Do you think this is their way to try and cut costs and try and get in the game a little bit more to corner the market on tablets even further?
Well, you know what the thing is, like we're saying right now with the iPhone 4, they only make so much changes to their products. They came out with the original iPad, then they came out with the new iPad, what they're calling it, or the iPad 2 or whatever. And they really, what was it? They really didn't change. They gave it, a Retina screen or something. They didn't change much. So they basically they can't go any bigger than what's the iPad 9 inches. They can't.
It's about 10. It's about 10.
It's about 10. No, they're not going to come out with an 11, 12-inch iPad. So they have to go down like this. Now, they're doing it now because, like you said, the Kindle Fire came in. It sold. I believe it's in the millions. The Nexus 7 tablet is already sold out everywhere. So they have to put their foot in this smaller screen tablet market. And again, with this, it's going to be 8 inches. They're pricing it, as I was reading here, they're going to try to price it lower than the new iPad, which is $500. But they don't think they're going to go low as the Nexus Tab, which is $200 and $250. So you can expect between $300 to $400 with this. And
I was going to say that, for all intents and purposes, like, I feel like Apple's products are really, really overpriced for what they are. You know, I think everybody right now would agree, you know, the way that their price point and what you're actually getting out of the experience. But I think really, you know, and it all boils down to Steve not being here because, you know, and I'm really waiting to see how the Apple fans that we see on Twitter and on the Collie and all of that, how they're going to justify, you know, back when they were riding hard for Steve, that everybody is like, oh, well, 10 inches is perfect. We don't need these little handheld tablets, this and that and the third. But now all of a sudden it's like, okay, Apple says it's cool. All right, we can be cool with it. So now they're going to be riding with this 8-inch tablet, you know, if it does come out, you know, whenever it does come out. You know, I wonder how the Apple community, or so to speak, how they're going to eat that up. They're
going to say they innovated it. Honestly, they're going to say they innovated and they perfected the small market. But yeah, it looks like the renderings. It's smaller than an iPad, bigger than an iPhone. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You can think of it as a big ass iPhone or a small iPad.
And basically the thing, and that's really what it boils down to, is that you don't have a different experience when you're going one to the other. And I mean, for some folks, that's their cup of tea. They don't like, you know, having freedom, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I won't knock everybody if they want to go out and get it, but the design is still the same. It's going to have the Retina display, you know, but, you know, we'll have to really see how this goes into the game. And I wonder if people are going to have their normal iPad, and then I wonder if they're going to go out and get the mini.
Just to
say they can have two.
Basically to save an inch and a half worth of machine. Like, are you really gonna go pay an extra $400 without any new features? I mean, I doubt this will have any new groundbreaking. Oh my God, I need to pay $400 so I can have this feature, which I don't have on my iPad. I doubt it's gonna have it. So will people go out and pay it? And you know what? They will. They fucking will.
Oh, absolutely. Apple, like I always say, Apple has like the GOAT marketing. They have the GOAT filing, like everything. People eat that shit up like it's ice cream, and that's cool for them, you know. And for me, as a person that likes new stuff, that likes to change things, I like innovation. I always want something new, and iOS just doesn't do it for me. So, I mean, do they have a rumor release for this, or is it still just mostly like renderings and
It's renderings. Like I said, the rumors for this are not as strong as the one for the iPad, for the iPhone 5. This is just enough renderings and may have this, may have that. I doubt they would release the iPhone 5 and the iPad mini at the same time, because that would almost be a move of desperation. That's the way I would see it. Other people may not see it like that, but I would see them releasing these two things as a move of desperation if they release it at the same time. But I could see this coming out, if it does come out, maybe early next year, February, March next year, but I wouldn't expect it this year.
I think if they were to, you know, drop them at the same time, you know, with the iPhone 5 and this mini, I think it will piss a lot of customers off, because the way that I see things now is a lot of people are getting a little irritated with that half a step, like I mentioned earlier, where you just add a little feature, you know, between iPhones, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think a lot of people, they will create a little bit of bitterness from the fan base a little bit if they drop this mini tablet right after, you know, in a relative sort of time. Like, when did the new iPad come out? Like, March?
This year, yeah.
Yeah, so if they come out on the same, you know, almost the same quarter, I think that would piss a lot of folks off.
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
So, your Nexus tablet, Danny, how you like it, man?
Yeah, came in on Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm loving it so far. I am loving it. It's definitely. I've owned before this tablet. I owned, as I've mentioned before on the show, I had the HP touchpad when it came out in the fire sale. That was my first tablet, and this, this is just a totally different experience. It's super portable. Nothing lags on it. Browser's fast. I came with the $25 credit, which I've spent on a couple of games, on a couple of apps, which I'm gonna talk about in a minute. But it's really good. It's as good as everybody is saying it is, and I see why it's sold out everywhere. Like, you throw this in your book bag. I threw this in my book bag today when I was walking with my dog at the park. I had a pedometer app running or whatever. You got the Google Now experience, which I mentioned on the Kali.com today. I was done coming from my walk in the park, and I get in my car, get in the book bag, and I take out the Nexus tab just so I could see how far we had walked. And the Google Now already was telling me, the little Google Now card was already telling me not to take the same route I took from my house to the park, that it knew an alternate and quicker route. This without me programming or asking for directions or nothing. It automatically did this. So that's real nice as an assistant. One thing I want to bring up real quick, gaming. We were talking last week about the PSP and mobile gaming and all that. And basically, you don't need, with these new tablets, and especially now, you got the Nexus 7, you got the iPad mini, you got these smaller tablets coming out. You don't need the standalone gaming devices. You don't need the PSPs. And I don't know if, Ashley, if you're a big mobile gamer, if you ever had a PSP or anything, but we were talking last week, and I was saying that if your name is not Nintendo, you need to stop dropping these mobile gaming things, because it's not, with the cell phones now, it's not worth it. And with this, I'm gonna give a recommendation out to people right now, and I told Jutt about this. If you have a tablet, or if you have a bigger phone, go get yourself the game Dead Trigger and the game Riptide GP. These are two, and especially if you have a Tegra 3 device, because they're optimized for Tegra 3. These games, and they both, Riptide GP was $1 or $2, and Dead Trigger was actually free. It's usually $1 or $2 also, but it was actually free. And both these games play like a PSP, Xbox game. These games would literally be sold on Xbox Live or in the PSN store for $6, $7, up to $10. And the experience overall so far with the Nexus tablet is great. I'll probably give a more detailed talk in a couple of weeks. But so far, I said everything. It's the smoothest Android device I've used yet. As I had the HP touchpad running CM, what was that, 7 or 9? CM9. I've had a couple of Android phones, and this is by far the smoothest device I've used. And then it shows that Google really, like we said last week or the week before last, they grabbed it by the horns and you know what, we're gonna put out a proper tablet, and that's exactly what they did.
So do you think moving forward, guys, do you think that we'll see more people gaming on their tablets as opposed to using their PSPs or their Vitas, or maybe even, dare I say, you think that they might be able to wiggle their nose into the DS business?
Oh.
What do you think, guys?
So, I don't know. I think they could definitely. I mean, I'm not even checking for the Vita or the PSP. I don't know anyone that plays their PSP, but saying that they're going to come after the DS and Nintendo, I don't know.
You sound a little scorned there.
Yeah, I don't think they'll, like I said, like I said, Nintendo. If you're not Nintendo, you don't need to be dropping any mobile gaming devices. They're not gonna reach that level, but they're definitely, like I said, it doesn't make no sense to pay $200, $250 for a Vita and then pay $30-$40 for a game when you can get high quality games for $1 or $2 on your 7-inch tablet.
Right. And that's the big thing with these new processors that are coming out. They can handle the workload a little bit, and I think a lot of people, when they think of Android as a whole, they think back to the days of the G1 or the MyTouch, or even the OG Droid. they just don't have the processing power to do what these new devices can do, and they started optimizing games for the smaller processors. And that's why I kind of asked that question, like, do we see this kind of being the new trend? That, because obviously, people do play games on their phones all the time. Now that we got a 7-inch tablet and it's easily accessible, I think we probably will see this a little bit more than we'll see. I mean, but like Ashley said, I don't see nobody playing their PSPs and shit.
No, not at all. It doesn't make sense to carry a whole separate device with these Tegra 3 phones out everywhere. Like, when you just download a quick little game, play it, and get good graphics, entertaining gameplay. I'm telling you, people, download Dead Trigger and Riptide GP. One's a zombie shooter game, the other one's a jet ski arcade game.
Yeah, I just downloaded. I was just looking on the Play Store right now while I'm on my phone. I'll probably have to get it on my tablet to really feel it, because like I play Grand Theft Auto 3 on my tablet, and it's not bad. It runs pretty well.
I haven't played them. I haven't played the Grand Theft Auto games, but I've heard a lot about them. That one, and I forgot. There's a third-person shooter.
They got Max Payne on it now too.
I think there's a Max Payne. It's one of those I hear a lot of people talking about. But like I said, I'm a real casual gamer. Like, if I'm just stopped somewhere, if I'm just in the house bored, I'll pick it up. So I say, just for me, it doesn't make sense to go buy PSP or whatever. Right. And like Ashley said, and I was mentioning last week, you don't see nobody seriously out there with a PSP in hand. You'll see, and I said, I work with kids. Almost every other kid I work with, younger kids, they all have a DS. None of them rock the PSPs anymore. But the reason why that's happening, we spoke about it last week. That's a whole other conversation for another day, with Sony's marketing of games and things.
So with all of that being, bless you.
Thank you.
With all of that, talking about, being able to have, all of your media right then and there. Let's talk about Steve, what's his name? Steve Wozniak?
Steve Wozniak, and
with his crazy ass fucking backpack, yo. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, it's on Gizmodo. You'll probably have to go back. It was a couple of days ago. But I'm gonna give y'all a rundown. When I say this dude has like a bag of tricks, like in cartoons, this dude got like some Batman type shit. Just a regular book bag.
No, the guy definitely has like a lot of crazy things on him.
Shitload of gadgetry. That don't even make sense. I'm gonna run off a couple of things that he has in here. Fuck around, probably end up having to do the whole list here. But let's see. He's got an iPhone 4. He's got an iPhone 4S. He's got a Galaxy Nexus. Actually, 2 Galaxy Nexus. Another 4S for the Verizon. An AT&T 4S. A Droid Razr. 2 fancy ass watches. 2 of the mini iPod Nanos, 2 Verizon 4G MiFi hotspots, 2 GPSs, 1 for the car, 1 for his book bag apparently, a 3G MiFi, a spare 3G MiFi, a Kindle, some battery replacements, camcorder replacement battery, 2 iPads, a MacBook, a keyboard for his iPad, and countless fucking wires that I'm sure are fire hazard in some way or another. Does this dude really need all this shit? Like, I mean, Danny, you put me onto the article, I think. What do you think?
He swears, I don't know if he needs all of it, but he says that he uses all of these things all the time. I mean, obviously, I don't think he uses it, like, he gets to a place and he connects all these things at one time, but it probably comes in handy for him every once in a while. Why? I would have really liked a better explanation as to, like, the why. Why. I'm looking at it. How many? That's 3, 6, 7 cell phones, 3 different 4G and 2G spots. I loved it. I loved it, though. But I'm a big tech person. And if I had the money like that, I'd probably walk around with that much shit. In a book bag too.
You get robbed, man. You in Newark.
Yeah, I know, man. I know, but I wouldn't be in here. But I would probably walk around with that much stuff in my book bag. But it just, what I like about it, that it shows that he doesn't exclusively carry Apple stuff. He had a couple of the Nexus phones
Right.
He tries out new products. Like I said, because of him is how I found out about we're going to talk about in a second about that Mute Watch. Because I noticed the Mute Watch on there and I was, hang on, I never heard of this. And I Googled it. But definitely something interesting, man. Definitely interesting. He said it weighs like, what was it? Like 40 pounds or something?
Yeah, some shit. Ashley, I know you're all a female bodybuilder and all that in your spare time. What do you think about his bag of tricks?
I don't know. I could lug around 40 pounds pretty easily. I would carry that stuff just because want.
Yeah, really. But you know what would be crazy though? Like, you got like, that reminds me of that Jeezy line when he's like, I got 6 cell phones who want to call me dog.
Mm-hmm.
How you know? Like, I wonder if he got like a different ringtone for every phone so he knows which one is ringing.
Yeah, that's the fucking worst. Like, first off, when one phone is ringing and you can't even find it, can you imagine having 6 or whatever in your bag? Like, that would be awful.
But just imagine going through security.
I know I read that he has, like, every item has its place or whatever, but oh my god, like...
Dude is nuts.
My phone's ringing. Oh shit, no, my other phone's ringing. Like, what?
Yeah, he's got like, but the thing is like, it's cool and all. Like, and I'm just thinking, like, I'm a big time geek like that too. Like, I like having like different devices and all of that. But why? Like, you got 4 iPhones or 3 iPhones. Excuse me. One was, I think, was his wife.
Mm-hmm.
But
you know what's crazy? Apart from the things in that picture, I'm reading this right now. Apart from those tech things in the picture, the guy carries things like a pair of binoculars, no lie, sunglasses, pens, papers, credit cards. Yo,
right there.
crazy thing. Flash keys, flash players, SD card adapters, AA, AAA batteries, $2 pads, pencils, puzzles, just craziness. Crazy. He says the backpack weighs 50 pounds. I wish he would have showed what backpack. He probably needs one of the military Rambo backpacks.
I got one of them from when I was like, it's not a rucksack, but I have a book bag that I bought when I was down in Fort Benning that it's made out of like heavy duty canvas and all of that. But it's like, I take that shit. I travel a lot. Like Danny and I talk all the time. I'm always traveling. But the thing that makes me laugh the most is probably the first thing other than what the fuck's he need all this for? Mm-hmm. The first thing that I thought of besides that was, yo, I know going through security has to be a bitch at the airport for that. Like, because I know regular people that can't grasp the concept of taking out their laptop. So, like, I would hate to be stuck behind this guy, like, especially if you're running late.
But he probably travels private 90% of the time. Like, I don't see him as a daily, even if he's flying first class, I don't see him as a daily, just imagine taking all this shit out. That's at least half an hour, taking all this shit out. So he probably travels private, or he has, I used to work at the airport, and I know when certain people like him come through, they'll, literally put him through the side door, he gets a little quick scan, and he's good. So, probably got one of those type of VIP security deals that's real popular right now. But definitely an interesting book bag. I would love something like that. I wish I could find that shit. Imagine you finding that. Imagine if I'm gonna leave that shit at a hotel or something. But you know what? Each and every one of those devices probably has an anti-theft device or app installed in it.
Low jack and all.
Yeah, you find that and you're gonna have the FBI, CIA at your door.
They'll be knocking on your shit like, yo, I just found this, man, chill. I mean, because, it's literally a bag of shit. Like, going through all of that, like, it's got to be crazy. If you did find that shit, it's like, the average person is going to be like, what the fuck is all of this? You know what I mean? Yeah. But, he says he has a use for everything. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm not going to argue with you. You would know better than I do.
I'm trying to find the exact quote what he said. Look, even he's just saying when you go through security, the devices take up 7 bins. 7 bins. Could you imagine being the TSA agent to come across this dude?
And especially like if you're like, what if you're like at the end of your shift? Like, say you get off at 5 o'clock and it's like 4:45, 4:50.
And this motherfucker come in.
Be mad as shit.
I'm gonna send them over to Ashley. Again, you go ahead and see my coworker over there.
Like, yeah, she just got on the clock. She's like, yo, what the fuck, man? So, going along with, from lots of stuff, we got a really hype announcement coming out. Windows 8 is dropping on October 26th.
Yes, sir. Windows 8 October 26th for $40 for an upgrade, which I don't remember how much. I bought Windows 7. I didn't have a machine with it. I had a machine running Vista and then I upgraded to Windows 7. I don't know how much I paid, but I remember it was a student discount. Even with my student discount, I don't think Windows 7 was $40. So I'm updating to Windows 8 on the first day. I'm going to be updating to it. And I've read a couple of things here. I'm up on the whole, they're going to be using tiles and shit now. But as far as other things, I'm not too sure. But Windows, besides, which was it that they fucked up real bad? It was Vista, right?
That was Vista, yeah.
Yeah, besides Vista, I've been using Windows 8 for a while when I was fucking with a computer when I was a little kid. So, 7 is pretty much perfect. And they've put work and a lot of money into it. So this could probably be, this Windows 8 could go down, and I'm going to call it early, as the greatest operating system ever.
The cool thing about it, like you were talking about the tiles and all that, they actually have a mode, I think that's called Metro. You can switch that off and just use, it's almost like, like regular Windows 7 that we have right now. Ashley, I know you're on the computer a lot. What do you, how do you feel about Windows 7 and moving to Windows 8? Are you going to get on it right away, or are you going to wait a little while to see what happens?
I'll probably wait a little while to see what happens. I'm not sure that I'm willing. Like you said, like Windows 7 was pretty decent, you know what I mean? As far as operating systems go, and I can't really see myself using tiles or whatever all that much, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to say the same thing.
A mobile kind of gimmick, so to speak, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's cool. So, we're talking about computers and all that. So I had to bring my man in, one of the biggest tech heads I know, my man Illadope. What up, man?
What's up?
So right now we're talking about Windows 8 a little bit. I know you're a big time tech head, not only just Apple. How you feel about the Windows 8 drop?
I don't know. I haven't messed with it yet too much because I ain't got no extra computer right now. But I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be anything special too much,
So you're not in agreement with the rest of us? We think it's going to kind of come in and crush the buildings a little bit?
I think the idea, like all the ideas behind it, crush the buildings, but I don't know if it'll play out that way since there's so many different versions,
Yeah. It's one of those things where we have to kind of see how it's going to be used. Like for me, I don't have to worry about upgrading. I got my, I tell Danny all the time that my laptop that I use right now is like the poster child for Larry Holmes status for computers. So, I'm not even joking. So I'm getting a new one, and I'm just kind of holding off to see, what's coming out, whether I want to get or whatever. But Best Buy is actually running a promo where if you buy a Windows 7 laptop, I think you can upgrade for like $10 or $20. You can upgrade it to Windows 8. So I'll probably ride that wave when it comes down to it.
And I think they want a lot of people to upgrade because remember they just they announced the Windows 8 tablets. So they want people to start getting used to this new ecosystem. And you can put money on when the new Xbox drops the next generation, it's going to have a Windows 8 or a tile type of theme to it. So they're really trying to push people towards it. That's why the price is so, like I said, $40 for an upgrade. And that's without any type of discount. Like I could see student discounts being for $20 or something. So I said I'm going to upgrade the first day just to get used to it because the price is super cheap. So unless they have a lot riding on this ecosystem, and we can't forget, I almost let it slip by, the Windows 8 phones they announced. Windows 8 phones are pretty much all tiles, so they want people to get used to this whole new ecosystem with the Windows 8 on the tablets, Windows 8 on the computer, and Windows 8 on the phone.
Yeah, they're starting to be like, they really want to get into that Apple era where you have your iPod, or you have your phone, you have your tablet, you have your computer, where you have that all encompassing ecosystem, like you said. So I know, Illa, you're a big Apple head. How do you feel about the Windows ecosystem coming up? Almost modeling itself after Apple, who really started that whole thing with having a complete ecosystem.
I think it's going to confuse folks for the most part because Apple, I don't think they tried to do all this on purpose. I think it just kind of fell into place. Like they started off the iPod, and then iTunes was first, and then iPod, and then just came into place from there. And it seems like all these other companies, they're trying to get everything situated so everything's all together like Apple is, but they're not building up the foundation, Like most people that use Windows, like you can go anywhere. Most people use Windows XP if you're in a business setting,
Yep.
And no one really uses, if they do upgrade, they're on Vista right now. No one's really on Windows 7 in a business situation. And then on top of that, I'm sure Microsoft's going to start phasing out everything, and it's going to mess up everything, and things won't be good to go. Like, if you went and bought a new laptop tomorrow, a Windows laptop, and for some reason you broke it, you can't go buy a new one, and just 2 hours later you're back to where you were at, There's no way of doing that.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like you said, the way Apple did it, kind of just fell into place that way. And I really think that's where Microsoft is going to fuck up, is that they're going to try too hard. And, we talked about the Windows 8 tablets that are coming out. I think the price point is going to be too high for people to be like, you know what, I'll give this a shot. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be a big part of their downfall because they really think that their shit don't stink.
Yeah. I'm not even really an Apple head like that. Like, I got a Mac way back because this kid was selling one for cheap. And people were just telling me I need that for music production. So that's what I was using. And then it all fell into place there. Like, I have a boot camp partition and stuff so I can play games. But main thing, like, with Mountain Lion that's coming out probably like in a week or so, or whenever it drops, like, even though it's not really a big update, it's going to change a lot of things because, like I said, I could probably go to the Apple Store right now, go buy a new MacBook that's completely nothing on it, and then do a time machine update or a backup and be good to go like an hour later.
That's true. I've seen Windows, they've been doing a lot of work with their SkyDrive thing, and I don't think it's going to match the time machine feature, but they're trying to catch up. I don't see the tablets being that successful off the bat. Because those are some pretty, and it's not to take nothing away from the tablets on the spec end, because those are some really nice fucking tablets. But I think they're going to be priced way too high. Their phones, again, Windows 8 phones, and I almost made the jump to Windows 7 phones. Good thing I didn't. Windows 8 phones, again, they're playing catch up against Apple and Google, who are pretty much the bosses of this right now. So they're going to have a long way to go. But with Windows 8 on the computers, I see this selling a lot. Maybe not in the industrial sector like you guys were talking about, in the work sector or whatever. But on some casual shit, I see this selling hundreds of millions of copies. And yeah, XP is pretty much fucked because I remember reading before they stopped servicing XP. They're going to stop dropping service packs and updates for XP. So it's pretty much Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8 from now on. And they'll probably stop servicing Vista within the next 5 years or less.
And that's basically Microsoft's their gift and their curse almost. They have to figure out a way to put new business in and still take care of old business at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But new business, old business, same old shit. AT&T, guys. AT&T, they're announcing their own shared data plans. They're dropping in August. Basically, they're going to be able to, they want customers to be able, and I say that really loosely, to be able, share your data across your smartphones, your tablets, and all of that stuff. You can choose to switch to or you don't have to, like Verizon kind of put into. But I just want to go around and think of everybody. Ashley, I know it's a little bit different from you than you're in Canada. And you guys' cell phone plans are really different than here we are in the States. What do you guys look at so far as like your data and all of that? How do you guys, how different is that than here in the States if you want to give everybody a kind of an idea?
I don't know. Here in Canada, like, our data is fucking ridiculously priced. Like, I know in the States you can get a pretty good data plan for, I mean,
no, you can't.
Not very. What?
Shit, I got Sprint. I don't know what y'all talking about.
No, I'm just saying, you can get a pretty good, I mean, with most companies, I feel like you can get a pretty good data plan for not that much, right? I mean, you guys can have unlimited data and stuff like that.
Well, right now, Sprint's the only one that has truly unlimited. T-Mobile throttles you after, like, depending on your size. You'll have, like, say you have a 2 gig plan. You use your 2 gigs of their quote-unquote 4G. That's not 4G, but I won't go into that. And then you get throttled back down to 2G speeds. But, so what do you guys have, like, on your plans? Like, was it like $10, like, every step up or something like that? You get, like, 2 gigs and then, like, for $30 or some shit like that, right? Depending on the carrier.
Well,
yeah,
I saw. All right, you can go.
Nah, go ahead.
What I was saying, like, before all that T-Mobile and AT&T stuff flopped, I saw that come and I was on T-Mobile. And I had a basic plan, you know. I had unlimited data, I believe, with T-Mobile, but it didn't really matter because I had an iPhone. If you know anything about that, I couldn't use any 3G or anything like that. So I saw that coming, so I switched to Verizon before they started switching things. So I have an unlimited plan. And I'm not really affected by any of these changes, and I don't think I will be because now that iPhone is so big and stuff, and since that's the main phone I use, like, I know how to flash my phone, the Cricket, and whatever else, and things like that, you know. And now that I know how to get unlocked iPhones, I can just use prepaid if I wanted to.
Danny, what do you think? I know you're not too fond of AT&T and all of that.
I'm on T-Mobile. I really don't mess with AT&T. I don't know how the whole data plan works. I'm on T-Mobile, and I have probably the worst data plan of anybody on the fucking planet. I have 200 megabytes of data. That shit's like a picture and the first 5 seconds of a song. But this, like, the way they've been working these data plans as of late, I mean, I'm not surprised at the changes, because how many smartphones is Google activating a day? Like that was just, it's ridiculous. They're capping out, so they have to keep raising these prices. But I think there needs to be a workaround or a change or something, because again, I think on the iPhone, like if you're on AT&T for unlimited data, and Illadope can correct me if I'm wrong with this, you may be paying like just $30-$40 for a data plan by itself, and then on top of that, you're paying whatever price for your voice plan. You're reaching the $120-$130 mark for a phone bill, which I can't justify.
I pay that much for 2 lines, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's crazy. Whenever I've called T-Mobile, because I was like, my dad is real flabby and sick too, and I've called them up, and they've really tried to give me like 2 gigs for like $30 a month extra or something. And I'm like, nah, get out of here. Like, because again, I'm always at Wi-Fi. When I'm here at my house, I have Wi-Fi all over. When I'm at work, I have Wi-Fi. When I was in school, I had Wi-Fi, so it wasn't that much of an issue. But now that I got the Nexus tab and I need to tether and things, like, I think I might just bow out and go ahead and upgrade that plan. But there definitely needs to be a change when it comes to data plans.
So I want to put y'all onto something. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I was talking to my homeboy at work. He's a big tech head. I'm gonna try and get him on the show one day. He actually is the one that got me into Android and all of that. But have y'all noticed that when Verizon does something, AT&T is not too far behind? When when Verizon switched to tiered data plans, not too far behind was AT&T. Verizon went to shared wireless plans, and AT&T is not too far behind. Do you guys have y'all think y'all got any conspiracy theories on that, or anything y'all want to, I mean, y'all making the Weebay face right now, because I just kind of put some light on that, but I don't know if y'all noticed, but, you know, it's something different, you know.
it's good business in a business aspect, but you're fucking over the customers. But that's just how business is. That's how business always been.
So, Ashley, do you have a data plan up there? I know you said you kind of have like a BS phone or whatever, but
Yeah, no, I don't have a data plan. I don't give a fuck about data.
you just like a talk and text type person?
Yeah, no, not even talk. I don't even talk on my phone. Shit, I just text.
Just text like somebody calls you and you just hang up right now. Like, oh no, I'll call you back. I'll text you.
Nah, no, people know to not call me because I don't talk on the phone. I'm like, fuck that, man. Text me or get the fuck out.
Well, the other thing about AT&T, since we're talking about it, is that there's a rumor. We'll call that what you want to call it. But a lot of times in this business, that when a rumor comes out, a lot of times it's true or at least semi-true. But AT&T is talking about charging extra data fees for using FaceTime. So on their network, so on top of paying your normal data, which is a little crazy on AT&T, on top of that, if you want to FaceTime, you gotta pay extra on top of that. So I'm gonna go to the iPhone, man. Illa, do you use your FaceTime? What do you think about the added fees and all of that? You think it's just a business gimmick, or you think it's justified?
I don't think it's really justified, but they gotta figure out how to get money. And if you know anything about, I don't know if any of y'all read Steve Jobs book or anything like that, or seen any interviews, but that kind of helped away from all the phone companies, so that's why they did most of this stuff, Yeah. And that was one of the main reasons. So I do know that Sprint isn't going to charge, T-Mobile isn't going to charge. They're supposedly getting the phone this year, like I've been saying. They're supposed to get it last year, but since all the stuff that happened, I only know that because my friend from T-Mobile, he's pretty high up, but like I use FaceTime all the time, but now with Outline, there's FaceTime on your Mac. So if I want to, like, I can do FaceTime on there. And I'd rather do it because it's right. I don't hold my phone up the whole time. Like, I'll use it if I'm out trying to show someone, but I don't use it too much in that aspect. I just use it more on my laptop now.
I'd be surprised if they didn't charge for FaceTime, because that would be heavy on their network. That'd be real heavy, because that takes up data anyway. So I'd be surprised. It'll be a good look, and it'll set some type of standard. But I'd be really surprised if T-Mobile, especially T-Mobile, because T-Mobile's been strapped for cash. They got people wanting to buy them. They've been trying to sell themselves. They need the money. They need the money. So adding the iPhone by itself is going to be a very good look for them. I might fuck around and jump over there, but stay on T-Mobile if they go ahead and do that, because I got an upgrade coming up. But no charge for FaceTime would be a good look. Definitely a good look for everybody around. But yeah, these data plans, man, they're ridiculous. And you go over like a megabyte or 2 megabytes, and they're charging you like 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. Like, just ridiculous, nickel and dime everything.
Just dumb because text messages are data too. If you know how infrastructure works, all of it's data, even voice data now. So, I mean, there's not much you can really do unless you're going to go blow up a building or something. But that's just regular folks. I mean, you go to Cricket or Jutt or what's the other stuff I know? But there's like 8 different things that you can sign up to, and they're pretty good. You get the same quality networks for the most part, but you don't have to worry about getting raped by all these bigger companies. But a lot of people don't know about those.
Right. Well, a lot of them, you got Straight Talk, which Straight Talk runs off AT&T's network. And there's another one that runs off of T-Mobile's network. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Simple Mobile.
What's that?
Simple Mobile.
Simple Mobile. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's that. And also, for CDMA folks, you got Virgin Mobile, and Virgin literally backbones off of Sprint's network. They literally get the same shit. You really don't have to provision anything differently. It's the same old shit for a fraction cheaper. So you're paying for the name. I have Sprint. It's not that bad. A lot of people really talk a lot of shit about Sprint. I get decent speeds. Now, where I live in the downtown area of my city. So traffic's a little heavy data-wise on my 3G. But as soon as I leave the downtown area, my 3G is fine. I can pull about 2 megs a second, which isn't too bad. Speaking from 3G standpoint, speed-wise. But a lot of people put a lot of stuff into speed. But the thing is like you have Verizon, and Verizon has Beast LTE. But the thing is if you have 2 gigs, 3 gigs, that's like one movie on Netflix. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people were like, oh, well, you get what you pay for. Our network is better. But at the same time, right, exactly. It's you're paying for something that you're paying more for, for less.
It's like buying some Jordans saying they're super nice basketball shoes when they really ain't, and some little ass kid made them. And you pay on 80 for them just because of the name.
Right, exactly. You're paying for like bullshit, like like a polo shirt almost, where it just has like a little horse on it, and you're paying, substantially more. You're paying for the name. You're paying
better the shirt.
That's what they say. And the thing with AT&T, Verizon are both in the same boat as far as I'm concerned. They might as well be the same damn company. The way that I see it, like I said when I brought it into this, is that they do the same thing. With one, the other follows. It's like big brother, little brother, monkey see, monkey do, that type of thing. But people, like Illa said, people aren't hip to these other things, so they're just gonna keep paying the money for it.
Exactly. People need to start looking around, finding options. Put their foot on these companies' necks.
Right. But
basically, the iPhone messed up everything because beforehand, plans weren't bad. Stuff in Canada wasn't bad. Half my family's Canadian, so I know about the plans up there.
Yeah,
and
bullshit.
Everything's messed up now because of the iPhone, like across the whole world.
Yeah, and I can really co-sign that because I've had Sprint for over a year now. December will be 2 years. When I had it, my 3G was straight. Like even, like I said, I live in a city. My 3G was straight. Everything was fine. And then the iPhone came out, and all of a sudden I felt that bog. And the thing about the iPhone is that it's a simple smartphone to use. So everybody's riding that, that wave, like I always say. So more people are on it. So that kills bandwidth. And, you're exactly right that the iPhone did kind of come in and fuck shit up. But these are multi-billion-dollar companies with experts in wireless spectrum and things like that. And they still haven't figured out a solution other than charging customers more money. We got to do better than that.
They haven't figured out. They're just being greedy. And like us, unless a whole bunch of us like blow up some shit or do something real, no one's gonna. We gotta do
some V for Vendetta type shit.
I mean, like that's just how it is. Because how the iPhone's made, it's not really made to be using data like that.
Right. It's really simple. I noticed like a lot of people don't. Between an Android user and an iPhone user, an Android user uses a lot more data than an iPhone user does.
Well, basically, how it works, and I'll simplify it for whoever's listening, and not to start any wars or anything like that. Because everyone's like with Android, you have to use a browser, and people use it kind of as a replacement laptop or something like that. Download the mixtapes, blah, 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 things like that, When you have your iPhone, you're not too worried about that because there's tons of sites that stream, and how everything's set up, it kind of caches it. And how the iPhone is, like beforehand, no one really worried about having Wi-Fi on their phone. It was like a nice feature, but no one was really dependent, like having Wi-Fi on their phone. But with the iPhone, you don't even need to have phone service. Like my friend, he said, fuck AT&T. He hasn't even had his phone on for a good 3 months. The time because of FaceTime, iMessage, all that stuff. Like the phone is like the least important part to when you have an iPhone, especially if you're in a big city. If you're in some small place, then it kind of sucks because you can travel around. But he's traveling around, going to New York, Texas, all these other things. I didn't even know his phone was off. So that's probably why all the phone carriers are all pissed off, trying to figure things out, because Apple is trying to change things up, and they want their money. That's what it comes down to.
There you have it, folks. So moving off of the all the cell phone talk, we're gonna go into our cool gadget of the week, or however we see fit. So I'm gonna throw this to Danny, because he's actually the one that put me onto this this piff actually. So go on, Danny, talk to him about the Mute Watch. Excuse me.
Yeah, this is the Mute Watch. This is one of the gadgets that Steve Wozniak carries around in his book bag. The guy from Apple we were talking about earlier. And then I saw this watch. I was like, that looks different. I Googled it, and it's captive. Again, if you go to mutewatch.com, you can see it for yourself. It's a captive screen watch. It's probably the most modern looking watch out right now. Captive. Let me give you some specs. Captive touch screen, automatic adaptation to surrounding environments. Like if the light is too dim in the room, it darkens up. And let's see what else is 3 or 4 days. Battery range is crazy on this thing. 3 or 4 days worth of battery, and it's a real modern, cool looking watch. It's not like a modern, weird looking watch. It's not just a watch with an iPod Nano on it or whatever. Like I know Sony got a couple of smart watches also that just don't look right. And the thing's basically the watch of the future. Like this is what you saw in the Jetsons type of watch. It's a real cool looking watch. The price
it looks clean as fuck. I saw it.
Yeah, you saw that. The price is pretty high. The price was, I believe, I said $259, $260.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. It's like $260 for the damn watch. It's real clean. I like finding gadgets like this. Again, it's just not a little USB watch, or not just, again, like I said, iPod Nano holder. It's a real clean, real cool looking gadget. So check it out at mutewatch.com.
Is it waterproof?
I believe so. Because I think it is, because they're recommending to, when you clean it, they say you can hand wash it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they say you can hand wash it. So sounds like it's waterproof. Connects via
Does it
USB.
have RFIDs in them?
No idea. Connects via USB. As the watch, and even it has motion detection in it. So like when you're, let's say for whatever reason you have it on your sleep, it'll turn off automatically. Or like if you're just somewhere sitting, it'll turn off automatically. And you flip your wrist. Not even flip. Just you do the looking at your watch motion with your wrist, it'll automatically turn on. So yeah.
Let's be real, y'all. This shit is cool. Mm-hmm. But what would we really use it for? Do we have a practical use for this other than I bought this shit because it's cool?
To show off, yeah. To show off.
My friend's real big into watches. I always make fun of him because I say, what do you need a watch for? You got a fucking phone, you got a PS Vita, your car tells you what time it is. Like, you don't need a watch no more unless you like accessorizing. I don't personally wear watches at all because I like lose them shit. But
Ashley, I heard you say it looks clean. What do you, other than you saying it looks clean as fuck, like what do you think about it? You think it has a use, or would you buy it to find a use for it, or would you just get it like, hey y'all, look what I got?
Well, I don't think I would buy it. It's kind of more geared towards men, I think, by the way it's made. But I mean, if I met a dude that had it, I'd be like, damn, that's a nice watch.
You ain't pulling no holes with this watch, though, I bet.
Yeah, unless they're geeks.
Yeah.
You get a ride in your car. And check out your watch.
Sure, yeah.
It's cool, and it just shows more innovation from little stuff. You know what I mean? Things that, like the watch from the Jetsons, like y'all said, like just moving forward. Like this is stuff that when we were kids, we think about. Oh, well, one day we'll have this, and we'll have flying cars, and this and that and the third. And now, obviously we don't have no flying cars. But
that shit.
What's that?
So we're not anywhere near anything like that.
Nah, but little stuff like, okay, on a small scale, like, I remember when I went to Vegas for the first time and I was walking in the Fashion City Mall or a fashion show mall on the Strip, and when you walk past this like pillar, the advertisement starts playing. And they had video advertisement and shit like that. And I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like that shit that you don't think about, you know what I mean? That we see when we were kids, when our imagination's going crazy, and then we see it when we're adults, and we're like, yo, I remember thinking about this when I was a kid, or I remember seeing this on the Jetsons, or whatever I was watching, some futuristic Back to the Future type shit, a lot of that stuff is starting to come out because of technology. So I'm wondering,
this would be cool to implement into like other things, like maybe like alarm clocks, things like that, to lower the use of electricity use,
Right, and it would actually even be cool if they had somehow to put in so that it was solar powered. Other than, it's cool that it's USB rechargeable or whatever. But they do have solar powered watches and everything like that. But with this high speed device, it would be cool to kind of have that feature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll have to see. I think this is really just a step in the right direction. So far as high-tech watches, quote-unquote, high-tech accessories, if you will. But at the end of the day, all it does is really tell time.
I'd buy this shit, I'm telling you. Give me a couple of months. I'm going to pick this motherfucker up, man.
Well, I'm going to let you talk about it when you get it.
Yeah, I tell you, I love gadgets because it's different. It's a different approach to watches. And even to motion sensor devices and all those other things. So, yeah, good stuff on their part, though. And I never heard of the company. I really thought it was going to be... the price, honestly, when I saw the price, I wasn't even too mad at it. Because I really thought the watch, especially since this dude had it, I'm like, man, this shit's going to be like a $1,300, $1,400 watch. I thought it was going to be like that high. And $256, it's up there, but it's not totally, unreachable. I could see people this could be a Christmas present. If you know somebody who's a real big tech head, this could be a Christmas present for them, a birthday present for them.
I'd be mad if I got it.
Would you look at it when you was a kid and somebody bought you clothes instead of the toy that you wanted? On some what the fuck is this type shit?
I would just be like I said, I got a watch on my phone, my car. There's watches all around wherever you're at, or clocks. So. And I don't even care what time it is. I don't even know what day it is right now, to be honest with you. I just don't care about that stuff.
One free spirit, man. One free spirit. So oh, go ahead, my bad.
I know boxing comes on at 6. So that's all I know.
So that wraps up our tech segment. So we're going to move right into our entertainment segment. So it's a lot less, a lot more free flowing. So Heisenberg season has returned, y'all. We had the first episode of Breaking Bad for this season. I know Danny and I watch it. So do you watch Breaking Bad?
I've seen 2 episodes of it at my friend's house.
2 episodes.
Matter of fact, I was gonna start watching it today because I've been hearing everyone talk about it. I don't watch TV or nothing like that, but I was gonna start it up because the episode I saw, they're in some junkyard and they're selling, I guess, meth to this Mexican guy or something like that. And then he was super hopped up and he just beat up his friend or killed him. And then they put him under that car or something. That's the only episode I've seen.
So Ashley, you don't watch Breaking Bad, right?
Nah, I don't watch that shit. What's this about? Give me the rundown.
All right. So basically, it's the dad from Malcolm in the Middle. And he's a chemistry teacher. He's a high school chemistry teacher. And he gets diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. So basically, long story short, he decides to hook up with one of his students that deals meth. And I can't really... me and Danny are going to end up dropping spoilers for y'all anyway.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But that's the premises of it. It's drug dealing.
And it seems kind of boring. And I slept on it, admittedly, at first. But it's probably one of the best TV shows that I've already seen. Everybody probably that's watching already knows the premises of the show. So probably this is just going to be me and Danny talking about the season 5, episode 1 recap. So y'all can just listen intently.
One thing I like when I was watching, my friend, he already seen the episode and he kept ruining it. You know how people are like, oh, watch this part. He kept that. But he wasn't really ruining it because how they explain the story and illustrate it and stuff. You have to watch. You can't just sit back and read about it.
Yeah.
Or even talk about stuff,
Yeah, me and Danny talk about it all the time. there's different types of symbolism in the show that will foreshadow things that are going to happen. So we'll go into episode 1. Basically, it starts off with Walt and Denny's with a full-on beard. He takes his bacon and puts 52 on his eggs. Like the pilot episode, he put 50 on his eggs. You know, it's his birthday or whatever. Walks out of the Denny's, tips the waitress $100 bill, even though his meal was free because it was his birthday. He meets up with a guy in the bathroom, pays him some money. He's got an M60 in the trunk. So that's the rainbow gun if y'all aren't familiar. But basically the whole plot, it starts to set up the new season. Gus is dead. Mike comes back, and they realize that the laptop that Gus had in his office was pushed all the surveillance photos, or surveillance videos from when they were in the lab cooking, had all the videotape on it. So they try and get out of the laptop. They try to get out of the storage, evidence locker or whatever. So Jesse comes up with the idea that a magnet will kill the hard drive. So they go to the junkyard. They meet up with the old Coogie junkyard dude, and they got this big ass magnet powered by car batteries in a U-Haul truck to try and kill the laptop hard drive. But Walt, being greedy, tried to crank up the power too much, and it fucking slammed the truck, which is obviously metal, up against the building. So it had to haul ass and left the truck behind. And the episode basically ends, and Danny will probably correct me if I'm forgetting anything, with Walt hugging Skylar, saying that he forgives her. So that's a little synopsis, so we'll talk about it a little bit. Danny, what do you think about the episode?
It was good. It was really, I was watching, I was like, man, these guys are crazy. When it first started, Walt had the full-on beard, like he was a straight-up refugee or whatever. And I was like, man, shit. When he bought the M60, I'm like, man, shit is about to be good. Because from the way the last episode finishes to the way this new season starts, you're kind of left like, all right, where I don't want to drop too much info, but like, where are they going to go from here? You have no idea where they're going to go from here. But now you see they're basically I don't want to call it on the run, because they're not really on the run, but you see the action is still going to be there, and it's still the same great Breaking Bad. So nothing lost there.
Yeah, I think, and it basically, like, the other thing that I always find entertaining is that Walt always tries to push the issue with everything, and he always ends up catching an L because he's too fucking greedy. Mm-hmm. And they were in the truck, and he starts cranking up the power, and Jesse's like, chill. And his voice basically like, chill, yo, because he always says yo. But, and he starts cranking up the power and ends up fucking everything up off the plan, and the one thing that was crazy, and me and you were talking about it, is Walt's G level is on 100,000 trillion right now.
Yeah, I said that before. His progression, it was the one scene where this is real small, so this isn't really going to be a spoiler for anybody. He goes to see his lawyer, and he asks the lawyer to do something, and basically the lawyer is like, nah, I can't do that for you. Me and you, we're over. I'm not representing you no more. And he gets up, and he's like, you're going to keep representing me until I say it's over. And you got to look back at the way that, like, the first couple of episodes, this dude was your regular old, scared, nutsackless chem teacher. From that to, like, this gangster-ass meth dude catching bodies and stuff. Like, it's crazy. And it's probably the biggest character transformation I've seen on the show. Because on most shows, the gangsters start off gangsters, stay gangster throughout. The lame people start off lame, stay lame throughout. The funny guys, etc., they stay the same throughout. But this guy, from one season to the 5th season, has done total opposite in a good way.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing that really established his goonness is that they're sitting in the room. It was Mike, Jesse, and Walt. And Mike's like, well, with the magnet, he's like, how do you know this is going to work? And Walt's just like, because I said it's going to work. And everybody just shut the fuck up. But the dude is a genius, but he just feels himself too much. He's going to end up catching an L because he's just, trying too much. But for those of you who don't watch Breaking Bad, go check it out on Netflix. All 4 seasons are on Netflix. It comes on Sundays at, I think, 10. I think I'm probably the only one that fucking has cable or that watches cable. Everybody, what I'm saying is everybody uses the internet to watch that show.
Yeah.
But that's just
Direct TV.
I love Direct. I got DirecTV actually.
Oh man, you lucky.
And you know what though, that Viacom thing, it didn't bother me too much because I don't watch half the stations that they cut out. And when they came back, I was like, oh, all right, cool.
They came back.
Yeah, they came back. They came back Friday, I think.
Oh man.
Somebody else is gonna have to find something else to bitch about. So going along, lately we've been seeing in Hollywood a lot of reboots. We've had, Batman obviously got rebooted. Now it's on its last episode, so to speak. Superman has gotten a reboot. We even got a 21 Jump Street movie. How do you guys feel about movie reboots, first and foremost? Ashley, how do you feel about the movie reboots and now that we're a little bit older and we take stuff from when we were kids, what do you think about them now?
I don't know. I'm young as shit, man. I feel like I never saw these movies like the first time around, so now I'm just kind of like getting a chance to get to see, I guess, some epic movies that are being rebooted. So I don't know. I guess it's a good thing because I get to see things I obviously otherwise wouldn't have seen.
And that's why they're doing it. I mean, that's exactly the reason Ashley stated right now is the reason why they're doing it, because and some people like me and Jutt probably seen all these old school movies, but a lot of people haven't seen these movies like 21 Jump Street. My sister today was like, oh look, I got the 21 Jump Street bootleg DVD. I got the DVD. It's this real cool new movie. And I'm like, oh, did you ever see the old one, like the old show, the old movie? Yeah, the old TV show. And she's like, what TV show? And I'm like, 21 Jump Street. She's like, no, it's a movie. It's not a TV show. And she was arguing with me like it didn't come from a TV show. But yeah, these reboot movies, they're good in a certain way, but the aspect, and I think most people might agree, is you might fuck up a classic. Like recently in a Comic-Con a couple of weeks ago, they announced that they're going to reboot Godzilla. And I know Godzilla's been done a couple of times. They're going to like actually put real work into it and reboot it again. And I'm a big Godzilla fan. Probably going to go see it, but I know they're most likely going to fuck it up. I know they're most likely going to fuck it up. Was another movie which I heard they were going to reboot was the original Jurassic Park. Like they weren't going to make a Jurassic Park 4 or whatever they're on. They're going to redo a Jurassic Park, which again was a classic, and now they're going to reboot it and they might mess up a good movie. So I'm on the fence about it. I like it because it might add a new twist, but then again, they might take classic movies and ruin them.
I have a good analogy or example, whatever the hell you want to call it. Like the whole Mac Miller versus Lord Sear or Lord Finesse thing.
Yeah.
Like, I personally hate Mac Miller.
I think almost everybody does.
I think he's a fucking loser, and I see what he's doing. He's showing props, blah, blah, blah. Even if he wasn't, he's, in a way, putting the new music on for the new generation. And I was at my friend's house, and he happened to be listening to that song. He's like, you like this beat, don't you? This beat's nice. I was like, man, get the fuck out of here. I was like, you don't even understand. And I showed him the Lord Finesse stuff, and he's like, man, that's whack. And I was like, what? This is the original song, you idiot. He's like, no, Mac Miller made it better. So I can understand to a younger generation. I'm 23. I'm kind of like in the middle. A younger generation, they don't know the difference because they haven't seen it, obviously, unless they're like a film nerd or something like that, Yeah. So it gives a chance for the original artwork to be shown in a sense.
Right.
But since obviously it's not the same directors or something like that, there's always going to be someone adding this or doing that, and there's always going to be a fight about it. There's never going to be an agreement between anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. And to kind of piggyback what you said, like, with movies and things like that, it's like, for instance, okay, we'll take Star Wars, for instance, right? When they first dropped it was in the 70s. Obviously they didn't have the technology that we have today. And it's not a reboot, but they CGI'd everything and made it look really, the way that George Lucas envisioned everything. So I kind of see why, I personally don't mind reboots. I think it's cool to see what things will look at with more technology. As long as they kind of stay with the original story, they don't change too much, because I am kind of a sap for shit that I was growing up with. So if somebody took something like, I don't know, fucking Fraggle Rock and made another show out of it and started changing shit, I'd be mad as fuck. Even though I'm 27 years old, I would be pissed off from a show that I was like 6 maybe, that they changed up. I would still be a little, feel some type of way about it. Because I feel like rebooting something is almost like an art, like you said, like, you kind of got to pay homage and you still have to kind of do your own thing. You got to walk that line, you know what I'm saying?
I think it's also an easy way out, though, especially with things here. Like, if some folks in Japan rebooted a movie that was over here, like, of course it's going to be different and things like that, and they're probably trying to actually put effort into it.
Right.
Most here is just, you can tell people are just being lazy. Do the main parts, they'll do a big explosion scene, there'll be a sex scene, there'll be a fight scene, and then the movie's done. And then they tie in other little parts or whatever story. It seems like every reboot's like that.
You bring up a good point that I was actually going to ask everybody is, do you guys feel that it's a lack of creativity on the behalf of Hollywood, that they're not coming up with new scripts and new things to do, so they're just like, fuck it, I ain't got no other idea, let me just take something that somebody else did and I'll make it better? Essentially, they're pulling an Apple. They'll take another idea and make it better.
I think it's because these movies are selling. You gotta look at these reboots that they've done in the past, 5, 6, 7 years. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but these people are going to see them. People are going to see them. As long as people are buying or seeing things, these companies are going to put out these products and these movies. Well, I would rather see a totally new movie before I go see a reboot of a movie. Like, no lie, me personally, as much as I really want to see this new Godzilla movie, I'm probably going to wait on the DVD to come out before I go see it in the theater, because I already have this thought ingrained in my head about how epic Godzilla or Jurassic Park is. Why am I gonna go see it again if I've already seen it? Even for the new, for the new updated version, I'm probably not gonna go see it. But then there'll be more of an appeal to somebody who hasn't seen it from a younger generation.
Right, and I think Hollywood really is trying to cater, because the newer generation, so to speak. So with that, is there any movies that you guys would like to see rebooted? I know all of us, we always talk, here and there. I'm gonna just kind of go around the circle. If anybody has, Ashley, you have any movies you would like to see rebooted?
I kind of want to see Home Alone rebooted, like the original Home Alone. I don't know why. I just want to see that shit redone, man.
Do you think he would have like more gadgets and shit? Because
yeah.
He was my bad. Go ahead.
More ingenuity with with the current day gadgets. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they could do it with his son or something, or like, you know what I mean? Like, quote unquote, his son or something.
But you would think though, if they did it with his son, he would learn not to leave his fucking kid behind.
I don't know.
But I mean, it would be cool though. Like, more high-tech stuff, so to speak, because, these kids know how to do damn near everything that we know how to do with these phones and all of that good stuff. You got any actors that you think that could play in that role, in any of the roles? Maybe what they call themselves, the fucking sticky bandits or whatever?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't really thought of who would play the roles, but...
Danny, you got any movies you want to see rebooted?
Back to the Future. Have they done that one yet? They haven't done Back to the Future. I want to see Back to the Future.
I heard they were going to, but I don't know if they did.
I would want to see a Back to the Future redone. And what's the other one? But they would mess this one up, man. This one is kind of corny, but I would want to see it done. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That wouldn't be too bad, though, actually.
I would want to see it redone. That's what I want to see redone. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. With a new twist to it or something.
Shit, Kid Skip school every day now, B, so it ain't no thing. You got anybody you think that could play Ferris Bueller?
Shit. You know who I don't want to play? Well, damn, I'm not going to look his name. I don't want to see none of these dudes from The Hangover in that movie. You know what I'm talking about? These dudes who are like a little bit too old to be playing teenagers, but they got them playing teenagers in the movies. Them dudes, that the one fat kid from 21 Jump Street, the new one that came out.
Jonah Hill is funny as fuck, man.
I want to see that kid in the movie. I want to see that other real skinny kid with the afro in the movie. I don't see none of these fools in the movie.
What about that one dude that what's that group, The Lonely Island? They made that "I'm on a Boat Bitch" song.
I don't know, but it doesn't sound like I want to see him in the movie.
Yeah, you think they're too old? Well, yeah. But I mean, there's really no teenage. Well, I mean, I don't watch movies all like that anymore, like with up and comers. But obviously, the Hollywood formula is to have a guy that's like in his mid-20s to play a high schooler. You know what I mean?
I'd rather see like new people all the time opposed to seeing the same tired people. Like, be like, oh, that's the guy from Step Brothers. Like, no, that's a fucking name. If he's in a new movie, that's all you're gonna say. Oh, that's the guy from Step Brothers, or it's that guy from that movie. You know?
Yeah, I think with a movie like that, you're actually right. That it would be good to have a up and comer, somebody that you never heard from, just to kind of, because most people don't remember that fucking movie to begin with, because it was made in I think the early '80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Which movie?
Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yeah, it wasn't in the '80s, right?
Yeah, but I don't think most people don't remember it. It's like a classic.
If you think about these young kids today, they don't know shit but what's in front of them.
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller, some skinny jeans, would be good to go.
Bright ass fucking Vans doing the jerk on the parade.
I'm telling you, I don't want to see no Bow Wow. I want to see no rappers in that movie. No Bow Wow. No, what's his name? Justin Bieber. I want to see none of these people.
Justin Bieber's gonna play fucking Ferris Bueller, man.
They better fucking not do that shit, man. I don't see it in the movie.
So me, personally, I kind of want to see Police Academy rebooted, man.
Police Academy?
Yeah, Police Academy. Like, honestly, Police Academy is one of my favorite movies. If they do it right, it can be great. You get, I was thinking actually have, like, Jonah Hill play Steve Gutenberg's character, right? And you can get Terry Crews to play what's his name, Hightower? That big-ass black dude?
Yeah.
You get Terry Crews to play him.
Who's gonna play the beatboxing dude? That was an epic character. Dude that you did beatbox.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure they'll find somebody. Somebody can do that shit. I think they could make that movie pretty easily, and it wouldn't be too hard. I think fill out the cast with the rest, some up and comers. I'm not a fan of this like all-star ensemble cast type shit. Like, what's that new movie that's coming out? That's got Vince Vaughn and Jonah Hill actually in it, where they're like the Neighborhood Watch. It might actually be called Neighborhood Watch. I don't want to tank that shit. But I'm not a big fan of those like ensemble casts where it's a bunch of like half washed up comedians, like that other movie that Chris Rock and what's that fucking dude from King of Queens? They were all in that movie where they were like camp counselors or some shit. Like, that shit is washed, man. But I would also like to see Ghostbusters rebooted. What do y'all think about that?
That's a classic. See, that's when they could fuck up. I'm telling you, that's a classic. Like when you read, like again, even if they were to do Ferris Bueller or this other one I mentioned, they would have fucked it up. I wouldn't even be that mad. But some things should be untouched. Like, imagine them trying to reboot Scarface. Like, I don't want to.
I heard they were gonna redo it, but it was gonna be a different story.
I would burn the theaters down, man. I wouldn't want to see that shit. Fuck that, man.
But you know, the Scarface movie that we know and love is actually based off of a mobster film. Yes. But I remember back on the old website that we're not going to name, I remember seeing a thread with links and all of that, that they were actually going to make a new Scarface movie with, you know, obviously a different story or whatever. But
you remember Puffy? You remember Puffy came out with that? Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Carlito's Way.
That's Carlito's Way.
That they totally fucked that up. That's a good example. I mean, I remember reading about the Scarface thing, and I remember on the website or whatever. And you know how I knew it was gonna be fucked up. They were gonna have, the story was supposed to be that Scarface had a son somewhere or something, and you know who's gonna play his son or whatever? Fucking Cuban Link, the rapper. That's how I knew like the story was gonna be fucked up. Like, don't touch it, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. That's how I feel about the reboots.
Excuse me. I think like a reboot done right, if anything, just to satisfy my like nostalgia. But excuse me, it's a fine line, that we gotta walk, when it comes to this stuff. And obviously, you kind of gotta keep your ear to the street more or less. It's the young kids that are gonna be watching this stuff. You know what I mean? So, we kind of gotta keep that in mind. Whereas, us with this next generation that we're in right now, I'm not gonna call us old, but we remember these things. You know what I mean? So I think other than superhero films, they need to kind of bring some other stuff, because there are movies that were made before that have good stories that they could make. And I think we probably all agree on that, whether we want to see this or that or the third made. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't been tapped into that can. So speaking of, recommendations and everything, I know Danny and I, every week we do a Netflix recommendation. So Danny, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation for this week is a movie called The Lincoln Lawyer. This movie starting, let me put it up right here. The thing I like about this movie is it almost feels like if you took a Training Day kind of feel to it and you added a lawyer to it. It's Matthew McConaughey and Ryan Phillip. Ryan Phillip is this extra rich kid who is accused of raping a girl. And again, without going into too much details, Matthew McConaughey is his lawyer defending him. And the movie has tons of crazy twists, crazy ending. But that's my Netflix recommendation of the week. It's The Lincoln Lawyer, featuring Matthew McConaughey and Ryan Phillips.
My recommendation for this week is The General's Daughter. I actually got hype as fuck when I saw this, because this is one of my favorite movies that I've ever seen, actually. Quick rundown. John Travolta is a criminal investigator in the Army, and he's on a post, and he's investigating the murder of a young captain that happens to be, you guessed it, the General's daughter. As he starts investigating this murder, he starts uncovering cover-ups and all kinds of crazy shit between the general, his daughter, her career, his career. He's obviously a career officer in the Army, and he's actually getting ready to retire and run for office. I think he was going to be the vice president, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously he has an image to obtain, and that he doesn't want a lot of shit to get out. But John Travolta is John Travolta in this movie. His smart ass, wise crack. There's some fight scenes in the movie, but mostly the movie is a real good thriller. It's kind of a mind fuck once you get to all the levels of what's going on in the story. It's pretty easy to follow, but when you see what happens at the end and everything that develops throughout the course of the movie, it's a lot of fucked up shit. But I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Check it out. The General's Daughter, John Travolta. I think I forget who else is in it, actually. I'm not even going to try and fuck somebody's name up.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. It's a real good movie. I saw the movie recently. A real good movie. It has action in it. Like it's a drama. It's an investigation drama, but it has action in it.
What's dude's name that played Samson on Half Baked?
Oof, you got me there.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Visually, yeah, but I don't remember the guy's
name. He's in
name.
the movie. I can't think of his name, but he's in the movie. Timothy Hutton's in the movie, and a lot of other people. I'm just scratching for names here, but those are our Netflix recommendations for the week. So we're going to move along to our new segment that I'll take credit for, but me and Danny been kind of on this for a while. Pull your skirt down, B. So this is basically our segment for people that have been bitching, complaining, acting like some hoes or whatever. This is our time to put the spotlight on these motherfuckers and tell them to shut the fuck up and pull your skirt down. I'm going to go with mine first because Danny's actually going to lead us into another one.
Yeah.
my pull your skirt down for this week is my man Scano from Twitter. You my dude, but my man Lukey been calling you out all week, man. Y'all got some beef about some baseball shit or whatever. Y'all been taking shots at each other on Twitter. Danny and I both have actually offered for y'all to come on the show and settle y'all beef, Yo Mama style. We're gonna put some Collie cash on it. BK and Brooke already hooked it up so we can do it. We're just waiting on y'all. Lukey said he's down. Scano, we waiting on you, man. So until you come on the show, I'm telling you to pull your skirt down.
For real, man. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Come on, we want to settle this. My pull your skirt down of the week is this fucking idiot James Holmes. This is the dude who shot up the movie theater in Colorado. Illa, aren't you from Colorado?
Man, don't ever say that ever again.
Oh man, but I could have sworn you said you were somewhere around there. But anyway, that's my.
I live in Colorado Springs. I'm like 40 minutes away from where everyone got shot up at.
Okay, I know, so I wasn't going crazy. Yeah, this dude is my pull your skirt down of the fucking week. And I'm going to go on a little rant about this. Listen, if you're sitting there at home in radio internet land and you're bored, don't go out shooting shit, man. Get in
There's nothing else to do.
Like, come on, there has to be some strip club or some whorehouse or something. Go vent your frustration on a female in a good way. In a good way. Hang on, in a good way with in a good way with all respect to the lovely Ashley. In a good way, go vent your frustration. Don't go taking nobody's damn life because you think you're the fucking Joker. You're not the Joker. You about to be the Joker now in jail because your skirt's really about to get lifted. Pause, no homo. But that is my lift your skirt. All you frustrated ass idiots who's out there thinking about committing mass murders, don't fucking do it.
That pretty much sums it up. So I was gonna use that so we can all kind of open it up and talk about this. Illa, I know you're from the area, you live in the area, whatever. What are your thoughts on everything that happened?
I don't even want to sound fucked up, but there's stupid shit like this happens all the time around here, so I'm used to it. Like, it's not mass murders all the time, but like I was here when Columbine happened, and I was walking this. Well, yeah, matter of fact, I was walking to my little piano lessons after school. I think I was like in 5th grade or some shit like that, and it was on TV. And I was just watching it because they had it live, and I was watching them fools get shot up, and I was just like, well, damn. And like I said, that's maybe about 45 minutes away from me, Aurora, because I'm in Colorado Springs. I mean, I'm not even really surprised because I do feel a certain way when I'm here opposed to if I'm in Washington or if I'm in New York. Because they drop chemtrails here all the time. I ain't even trying to be conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but your mind is just in a different place when you're here. And there's no art or any type of cultures here. It's all military for the most part. Up there, it's not military, but it's still, there's no way to define someone to be like, oh, that person's from Colorado, or they have a Colorado style or swag, or what you say, you know? So it gets depressing because, like I'm talking about all the time on Twitter and stuff, if you meet a girl, she's either married or her boyfriend's in Iraq or something like that. And people just don't care about regular things like that here, you know? I mean, and people get bored here, obviously.
And you guys have really lax gun laws there, right?
Man, like I was saying on Twitter the other day ago too, like if I really wanted to, I could get me some stuff better than an AR-15.
Right.
And this and that for like $400. Like people steal from military bases and stuff all the time out here.
Yeah, you guys' gun laws. I live in Pennsylvania, and we have, amongst all the 50 states, we have some of the most liberal gun laws. All I have to do, I can have a rifle in my house, I can have a gun in my house, and I don't need any type of paperwork or anything for it. If I want to carry around a pistol, all I have to do, and my case in particular, I live a block from the county courthouse. I can walk my half black ass up the street and just fill out a little piece of paperwork or whatever, and they said that I can carry around my weapon at all times. Ashley, what did you think about when you heard the news that basically dude went ape shit?
I don't know. It was really sad. Like, I didn't really hear very much about it actually, but I was kind of like, damn. Like, there's no reason to go shooting up a bunch of people, regardless of anything.
The thing that I actually that I saw, I was watching the news, is that ironically enough, and it's actually it made me laugh a little bit because I am a dickhead like that. Is that the dude? I mean, it's just ironies are funny to me. And that dude was a psychology student, and he fucking shit the bed.
He was more than a psychology student.
Well, yeah, he was actually on his way to being a doctor.
You know, and I've been hearing a lot about that, and like they need to cut this shit out. I don't give a fuck if this motherfucker won a Nobel Peace Prize at one point. He's nothing but a piece of shit psycho now. I don't want to hear about like all this other. He was gonna be this smart and what the fuck? Because they're almost trying to use this to fucking justify like, oh, he couldn't have committed this.
I've been justifying it here. That's all they've been doing.
He couldn't have been in the right mind to commit this. Look, he's almost a PhD student. Like, get out of here with that. The guy is a piece of shit psycho. They should take away, and even if he has, take away all them fucking degrees or whatever, it takes away from the fact that this guy killed fucking a dozen people. There were kids. Kids got maimed and all that in it. Like, man, listen. Just kill this fucker already.
Well, yesterday after when people started talking about it, there's like a big giant 3-hour-long segment on this guy already. Like they had pictures of it used, and obviously that's easier to do if you have a Facebook, things like that. But it seems like they really dug deep and got a ton of information, like super quick. And they're over here, they weren't saying like they didn't mention no type of terrorist talk. They didn't bring up race or nothing. They're just like, how could this happen? On a few other channels, there's this black lady that was the reporter. She was basically saying he's a genius, this, and that. And the whole time they were basically trying to say that he made a mistake.
Yeah, man, fuck that shit. This dude playing that shit. He was told to fuck up like he was playing Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? And he obviously knew. And then his apartment is all like booby trapped and shit. So dude obviously knew what he was doing, you know what I mean? And there's just the whole irony to me is, I mean, I don't give a fuck what the dude was doing. Like Danny said, he could have been a Nobel Peace Prize. He could have fucking whatever. I don't care. He But the fact of the matter is, the irony in it is that he's fucking sick in the head, and he was going to be a shrink. Had this not happened, where he, snapped, for more or less, let's think of how much other shit he probably could have gotten to had he not reached his breaking point. He was a doctor and he's still fucked up in the head. How many other lives, I mean, obviously on a grand scale, he's not directly shooting people and killing them, but, so far as mental things, kind of puts everything in perspective. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, how I'm seeing it is this guy, obviously, he wanted attention,
Oh, yeah. That's how it always starts.
And I think he exceeded his limit or his expectations because originally from my understanding, because since that's all anyone's been talking about down here, he had his apartment booby trap. He had an alarm set to go off like right before the movie started or about a few hours before the movie started. So someone would break down the door, and basically it was set up so the whole apartment complex would blow up. He did that so that all the police would be diverted to that area so he could go do the stuff he did at the movie theater and be able to get away.
So hold on, he tried to do the shit that Boy Crowder does on Justified? Where he sets some kind of pipe bomb off and then robs a bank so all the fucking cops are on one end of town? That's crazy.
Yeah, he was going to blow up his apartment complex so the police would be there. And then that was when he was going to do his stuff. But something got messed up with the alarm. It didn't go off or something like that. And that's why they're still messing with it. So it could blow up any time. But Like I just don't understand. Like I said, I think he got past his expectations with everything because he turned himself in and stuff like that. Usually you do that type of stuff, like either you get killed because you're in the middle of doing something, or you get away for a minute.
He knew exactly what he was doing, man. He wanted the attention, like you said. If it was for some other bigger thing, he would have killed himself. And honestly, I think the police, when they should have just put a bullet in this guy's head. He was so strapped up, like that would have been the excuse. Like why leave this guy alone? Like you're fucking
money.
Like you're out here in fucking New York.
This shit, all that.
I mean, you're out here. The police out here in New York will put 50 bullets in you just for being black and dropping a wallet. But this, you know what I'm saying? But this dude, again, kills 12, 13 people, injures over 24 fucking people, and they keep him alive. Like, again, that might be a rant for a whole another day, but they should have took this fool out of his misery.
Like I said, folks out here doing crazy stuff. A few days ago, this guy, a guy from here in my city, he killed his girlfriend or something like that, and he used to be and then he went and stole an airplane, and they ended up like a big commercial airplane.
Wow.
They caught up with him while he was about to take off. He just killed himself in the plane.
That's how it almost always ends, because they can't deal with, they plan like the dude that did those shootings over in Europe last year, where he shot at all those students on that island. I want to say it was in Finland.
Yeah.
They don't have an exit strategy other than killing themselves, and that just shows you how fucked up they are in the head, that they don't have that way out, because it just, they put everything and all that planning into what they're gonna do, but they don't have a way out other than killing themselves, which is a coward's way out anyway. But wrapping up this semi-depressing topic, I kind of wanted to talk about this last week. We ran out of time. I see this shit all the time on Twitter. It really gets on my nerves. This fake sad shit. This Saturday, that hashtag SADDER day. This shit is fucking gay, y'all. I mean, I don't know if anybody else irritates them.
I'm gonna call somebody out.
Me. This shit bothers the fuck out of me.
I'm gonna call somebody out. What's homie's name on Facebook? My bad. On Twitter, that his name is Sad or something. Hang on, y'all talk about it. I'm gonna call this dude out in a second.
Ashley, do you see this shit all the time?
What shit? Like Saturday?
Yeah.
Nah. I have no clue what the fuck you guys are talking about.
I was talking about it all yesterday, last night.
This was trolling, but you know what I'm talking about. I can't think of dude's name because I unfollowed him because he was getting on my nerves with that bullshit. I had to unfollow dude because he was getting on my nerves with that shit, and I kept wanting to hit that retweet with comment and just calling him a bitch.
I think I found dude.
What'd you say, Danny?
I think I found dude. Again, if it's not you, dude, my bad. But it's I think it's Wavy Downey Jr.
Oh, nah, that's my man, but he does do that bullshit.
Yo, he be doing that shit all the time, man. That shit drives me crazy, bro. Like, every day's a Saturday. What are you that sad about? Like, are y'all on the level of this dude up in Colorado? Like, do we need to start a GeekSet social group, start hooking up these guys with females, with ladies, so they stop being sad? I don't know. Yeah, man.
I wish I could really remember who did this shit. Actually, I can't think of his Twitter name, but this nigga's his name, quote unquote, because everybody changes their name. I know I do mine. I change my name all the time. His shit was Sadly Cooper.
Yo, son, I swear I thought it was this dude, but I'm mistaken. So it wasn't this Waverly Jr. guy. It's that same, the Sadly Cooper guy. Same guy.
Yeah, that nigga, man.
Same dude.
That and I know it's like they want to be. And the thing is, it's like they're like, oh, nah, we're being fake sad. How the fuck do you be fake sad? What do you think about that shit, man?
What, being fake sad?
Fake sad, man. Fake sad.
I suppose bitches, I don't know. I ain't a hoe like that.
Basically, that's what they told me. They said, oh, these bitches love fake sad. I'm like, what planet do y'all live on?
What, some goth chicks?
Yeah, that is some bitch shit. If some guy came up to me and he was all like, yo, I'm depressed, I'd be like, bitch, get your shit together. Get out of here.
I mean, I'm sure we've all been sad, and people who've been through shit, like, you don't, like, I've been through a whole bunch of shit, and when I was depressed, things like that, like, I wasn't talking to people like, oh, I'm sad or anything like that.
I'm gonna dedicate a day out of the week to be fucking sad.
It does give you attention like crazy, but when you're legitimately sad, you don't want to be talking to people like that. So, and I've realized through other connections that I have that I can't put out on the air quite yet. And Danny knows what I'm talking about. That a lot of these dudes that do that Saturday bullshit have confirmed hoe tendencies.
Oh, that. And I'm telling you, y'all better start cutting it out. You notice we're exposing you dudes. We got pictures now. We got pictures now. Like, y'all need to cut it out. We don't want to put the foot on the neck, but we will do it. We will drop bombs.
The only reason I haven't done it is because that's my homie, and I said I wouldn't do it, and I keep my word. And I was like, but you know what? I told her, I said, hey, if person A or person B crosses that line and they keep that bullshit up, toast. Me and Daniel have to drop the flex bomb on them.
Toast.
Hold on, I gotta say something. Who is this girl laying on this pool table with this piece of paper? The fuck?
That wasn't me right there. That wasn't me. That was the homie. I was just looking at the two. That was the homie, Chris. What was his name?
I know you didn't do it. I saw the thread, but I was like, man, like, what the fuck is this? Like, I mean, I think that's lame as hell. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and talk to this girl and say, yo, you should give me a shout out on this website so people can know I actually talk to girls. Like,
and I'm telling you, we got like an ongoing segment about dudes acting like hoes on the internet, and it's like, yo, I talk to girls. Why don't you retweet what I had to say? And I'm like, come on, man, get out of here with that hey boo shit. Like
Twitter boom.
Yeah, that shit, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting old because I don't understand this shit. But then I think about it, I'm like, nah, like Ashley said, that's some bitch made ass shit.
I mean, it's fun like seeing girls talk about attention. Like, I'll see people retweet stuff, and then I'll just say like off the wall shit to people that I don't know. Like, I think we
always end up trolling people on Twitter anyway. Well, half of us, because the other half of us is fucking thirsting. That's I don't even want to go there.
I mean, half the people that I just randomly make fun of, I end up meeting in real life. It's 10 times funnier.
Well, you like to fuck with people anyway, so
yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that, but so based off that, we're talking about Twitter and everything. Ashley, where can they find you on Twitter?
At Twitter, I'm at VidyaGamer, VIDYAGAMER.
You got any shout outs for anybody that might be listening for you?
Nah, fuck them motherfuckers.
Damn, you made me feel like a hoe for giving anybody a shout out.
For real.
Illa, where can they find you on Twitter, man?
Illadope, you go to illadope.com, or you just type my name on Google, or you can do whatever you want.
Go ahead, plug what you gotta plug, my man.
I haven't been making no music lately, but I got a whole bunch of stuff on there. And, I don't know, I just be hanging out. You got something to say, hit me up. I don't care.
Danny, where can they find you on Twitter?
You guys already know, at Newark Hip Hop on Twitter, Newark Hip Hop at thekali.com. Let me give a couple of shout outs. Got about 2 or 3 shout outs to the newest Kali Dimes, Haley Morgan, which hooked up that beautiful picture for me. That's at Haley_Morgan. Also at Miss Terry. No. Haley's the one that wrote the Kali.com on her boobs.
Is that white girl that was saying nigger and stuff?
No. That was Destiny.
I can't keep up with all this.
Yeah, that was Destiny. Now this Haley Morgan. That's one. Also, there's at Miss Terry 85. She's over from London, and her homegirl at Close Springs. They both took some topless pictures for the Kali. Also at Mommy's Got Ink. And another girl over from London who hooked up a beautiful picture for me. And yeah, shout out to everybody else who's been listening. Like I've been tweeting the whole week. We at one point we're up in the top 10, spot number 9 actually at Podomatic, and also in the top 1,000 overall. And I think with this latest and great show, thanks to Ashley and Illadope, we're going to be in the top 5 of the show. But thanks everybody for listening. Keep listening. The show's going to get better, bigger interviews, more tech talk. Eventually we're going to have call-ins. But again, thanks everybody for listening.
And basically, real quick for me, you can find me on Twitter at IGive0fucks. That's FUKKS. You can find me on thekali.com at same name you hear all the time as Jutt, Jutt. Quick shout outs, everybody that listens. We're both flexing on the podcast game right now. We already made it inside the top 20. We're coming for the top 10 next, so be on the listen. Thanks to everybody that has been listening. Keep your subscriptions up. Be on the lookout for us. We're doing all kinds of stuff, like Danny said. Quick shout out, Illadope, Ashley, thanks for coming in. We hope to have you guys back. Whenever you guys want to, just let us know. Been fun shooting the shit with y'all. Also, if you guys got ideas for segments, something that y'all want to talk about, you can hit us up on our brand new, spanking new Gmail account. It's thegeekset@gmail.com. Twitter account is coming soon, so when we get that, we'll hit y'all up. Follow back, we will. Everybody listens, again, thanks. We're putting out hard work for y'all. And again, shout out to everybody that listens. We appreciate you, appreciate the support. And with that being said, for Danny, for Ashley, for Illa, this is GeekSet, and we out.